Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Jane, you're watching Through Mummy's Eyes. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I've had quite a few new subscribers actually over the winter period, which I always find really surprising because it's taken me so long to be able to sit down and actually do a video. But today is my day off from work, so I thought I would sit down and try and get as many of the requested videos as well as the ones I wanted to be doing out there. So first of all, excuse my voice, I have had the flu for the past week pretty much, so I am just getting back to normal and ready to chat. So in today's video, I wanted to do something that a few of you guys have actually asked me about on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at ThroughMummysEyes, and I just wanted to touch on a subject, and that is about going back to work. So today's video is going to be all about my 3 top tips into surviving going back to work. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have 2 boys, Harry, who is age 7, and Jack, who's aged 4, and I have a fiance who I've been with for about 9 years now. Only recently, I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. So I went back to work, I guess, just over 3 months ago, almost 4 months ago. And I went from basically starting at a job doing a 2-week placement to kind of a rolling contract ongoing, and now I work 4 days a week. Now the job that I do is actually in a city close to us, so I get on a train and I go on a 25-minute train journey. So I'm out of our town, like I'm at work. If you need me, it's going to take me a little while to get back. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I do to survive going back to work, because I think a lot of people think that it's quite easy to do and, oh, you're going to have this break from mum life and go back and do all this. Let me tell you, micromanaging just from home I find is difficult enough, but doing it from a place when you're actually not at home, if that makes sense, I find even more difficult. So I'm going to answer some of your questions, and I'm going to go through my top tips on surviving working away from the home. Okay, so tip number 1, always, I repeat, always have a plan B. If I can make it through probably 3 or 4 days with just going with my plan A, I give myself a massive pat on the back, because in this day and age when our kids have so many different things going on, as well as your schedule, your partner's schedule, whoever else you have in your house, it takes a lot to micromanage that, and having a plan B is an absolute necessity. So for example, let me give you an example here. Something could go wrong with your childcare. If you are very dependent on childcare the way we are, something could go wrong with it. You know, you might have a nanny, they could get sick, your babysitter could get sick, something could get canceled, your child could get sick, and you suddenly look at your partner going, who's going to stay home from work today? Or an after-school club could get canceled. All these things can happen, and the most stressful thing about them is that they can happen at the very last second. I'm talking like right as you're about to walk out the door. So having a plan B is a must. Some things that I have found that have really helped me out. First of all, obviously having friends and family close by is a fantastic thing, but sometimes that doesn't work for everybody. I'm very blessed to be able to have my in-laws a stone's throw away. They live about 20 minutes from us, and my fiance actually works for them as well. But that doesn't mean that I can solely rely on them all the time. You know, they have jobs, they need to support themselves. My kids are not their responsibility. So what I did is actually got together with some of my mum friends, and the majority of us, we do work part-time, and some of them even work more than part-time. And we actually went through our schedule. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try not to take so many takes during this because I do have a sore throat, but I'm gonna try my best. So my mum friends and I sat down together, and we actually went through our schedules, and we know who's off on which day, who can look after somebody another day. I find this extremely effective for when we have things like half term or summer holidays, and you suddenly go, oh my God, who's going to look after my kids? So I used this, for example, during the past half term that we just experienced. A friend of mine She works 2.5 days a week. I work 4 days a week, and we kind of swapped off. So Harry went and played with her, and then her son came and played with us, and we just helped one another. It's also free. It also keeps your kids entertained. So if you can go to another mom friend, help each other out, it's the best way forward, I say. Just glancing down at my notes, because I do have quite a few notes. Another thing that I find extremely useful, and I am very lucky to have this as well, is the care system that we have at our school. So my children are both in the same school. They go to an infant school. And in the mornings, James drops them off at breakfast club at about 7:30, and then he collects them at 4:45 or 5 o'clock every evening, mainly just because my train doesn't get in until just after 5 o'clock. So he's effectively doing the school run 4 days a week now, which is something new for him. But we have a fantastic breakfast club as well as after school club. And I know then that the kids are still in the school vicinity. They haven't had to leave. They're not going with one babysitter, going with someone else there. They're together. They're in the same system. And I also know that, school can't go and get sick. They have to run the program. So it makes me feel so much better knowing that my kids are in a safe place, that things, if they do go wrong, it's going to be very far and few between that it does actually happen. So if you can find some sort of care system, I know a lot of nurseries also run like after school programs for siblings too. Definitely look into some sort of system that's going to work for you and your family, but that's also not going to let you down. Okay, tip number 2. And this is actually my favorite, I would say. It is the one that I have learned the most from. And that is, in order to make money, you need to save money. When I went back to work, I had this sort of romantic idea that, oh my gosh, we're going to be bringing in the second paycheck that we haven't had for 7 years. We're going to be able to go on a holiday. We're going to be able to buy all these new clothes, do all these things, save for the wedding, all sorts of different things. Right. So that is not always the case. I did not realize how expensive childcare was. I didn't realize this mainly because I have been at home since Harry has been born. He has done nursery and preschool and that kind of thing, but he never did the full amount. We were very lucky for him to be able to do a few mornings because childcare costs, my God, are a lot. I'd actually be curious to know about your childcare situations if you are a working mom or a working dad. So do feel free to comment down below and let me know how you go about things, because we are still learning all about this. So my kids go to, like I said, a breakfast club and an after school club. Now I pay for this out of my salary. I get paid weekly, so it works out for us because I can pay it at the end of the week, and then I am left with a certain amount. If you think you are going to go back to work and you are going to get that full paycheck, you are not. You are going to be paying in order for you to go to work. You also have to pay for things like transportation, childcare, a new wardrobe, which I'm going to get onto, because if you've been at home for 7 years, I'm guessing you don't own any suits or you don't own any business attire or even smart attire if you're working at a casual place. So yes, you need to scrimp and save as much as you can. And I have found now, since going back to work, that I save even more than I did when I was at home. So the first thing I had to get was a new wardrobe, essentially. I love my jeans. I love my casual tees. I'm a very sort of like Gap kind of wearing person. I work in an office where it's business casual. Like it can be quite casual, but it's smart. There's no jeans. A lot of people wear shirts. A lot of the men wear suits. So I needed to buy clothes. So my first instinct was to go somewhere cheap. Primark, of course. I found a few things, but then I decided to do a little bit of research, and I'm sure a lot of people have these, and those are those Facebook groups that you can go and buy clothes off of. A lot of people will sell bundles of clothes, and I found quite a few people in my area were selling bundles of working clothes, like mom's clothes, because they were either having a baby and staying home, or they had left work, and I just thought, why not? Why not go for these? I am in a very sort of thrifting mindset as it is. I tend to buy a lot of the stuff in our house secondhand, as well as clothes secondhand. I like to call it pre-loved. But I just found that if I went out and if I bought a dress that was originally going to cost me like £45 compared to buying a bundle of clothes for like £15, I mean, you do the math. It's just so much better to save and then to be able to use your paycheck towards something else. And then the last one is, and I am guilty of not doing this all the time, but I find now with my work being so busy that it helps me as well, pack your lunch. In my case, I pack my breakfast and I pack my lunch. I allow myself to go and get a takeaway coffee twice a week. It is my Monday thing and it is my Friday thing. I like to start the week off and I like to end the week off doing it. So that's my treat. A lot of offices will do things like, you know, they'll do Fruit Friday or they buy donuts. Our office is constantly buying food. They're obsessed with food. So just try and bring the leftovers from your house. If you're cooking tea that night, cook an extra batch to bring to work. You will save so much money rather than going out and buying your lunch every day. And it is the nicest feeling to be able to get that paycheck that you earned. You earned it. And to have it at the end of the week and for it not all to go on childcare, food, transportation, you name it, and it's gone. So like I said, in order to make money, save money. And just write a little list of things that you can do. And it's great, guys. I mean, I just feel great. It's great. So my last point, last but not least, and probably, I mean, they're all important, but I would say this is extremely important. And that is to prepare. Prepare, prepare, prepare. I've had several mornings where, well, since working, I have discovered I am not a morning person. I used to think I was a morning person, but now I have to be out the door every morning at 7:30 and my day starts just before 6 because in order for it to work and for me to feel like I'm put together for work as well as my kids are all ready, James is ready to go, we know what we're cooking for dinner, I know which clubs the kids are going to, that kind of thing. I have to get up before everyone else. Otherwise, I'm just going to feel a little bit frazzled throughout the day. So prepare. Everybody says the best thing to do is to prepare the night before. And I firmly do agree with this, but there are going to be days that you just think, oh, I just can't be bothered. But I find that if I can, excuse me guys, if I can get my kids' uniforms laid out the night before, it is a huge help because then they can just go and get dressed and do their thing. They know they're old enough now that they can go brush their teeth and get dressed themselves. It does take a little bit of effort. I mean, they are boys at the end of the day, and I do have to sometimes still put their pants on and their socks and that kind of thing. Mind you, James is a huge help in the mornings. But if their clothes are laid out, then that just buys you time to be able to get all the other things ready. One thing recently that I've started doing with both my children, which surprisingly they really enjoy, is they have alarm clocks now. They have really cool alarm clocks, but they have alarm clocks and I don't turn it off when that buzzer goes off at 7 o'clock because my kids have a half hour to get dressed, get ready, and get out the door. Having said that, they do eat breakfast at school, but I do like to sort of give them a smoothie or something before they go out the door, just to know that they have some kind of goodness in them and they're not just eating Nutella on toast every single day, which I'm sure they're doing. But yeah, they have an alarm clock. So you know what? It might sound painful. I just let those buzzers go because mommy needs her coffee and mommy needs to get ready in the morning. So if they don't turn the buzzer off, then it's just going to keep on going till they get annoyed with it. So think about alarm clocks. It's not for everyone. My last 2 points I have for being prepared: a clean kitchen at night. You guys know I love having a clean kitchen at night. I have found recently that I cannot do it all. I mean, I never thought I could do it all, but especially with going back to work, I have to sort of bite the bullet and, you know, James cleans the kitchen now at night. Yeah, it's not exactly how I would like it. My OCD is slowly calming down, but if you can get the help, get it because just waking up to a clean kitchen makes the world of difference. And let me tell you, when you have to leave your house at 7:30 in the morning and you all come back together at nighttime, having that clean kitchen so you can muck into dinner right away is an amazing thing. If you've got all the dishes from the night before and they're not getting cleaned up in the morning because you guys are all going out to school and to work, it's the worst feeling in the world coming back after a long day at work. keeping that kitchen tidy, which I think in most cases the kitchen is the centerpiece or the center focus for the family, definitely improves everybody's moods and gets everybody to help out more. So clean kitchen at night. Yay. And my last one is dinner. Now, this is something we have struggled with. I used to be very religious about, you know, I would do a food shop every single week and I would meal plan. I have loads of videos on that. If you guys are interested in seeing them, I'll try and remember to link them down below, or they should pop up at some point. But I struggle with it now, you guys. I definitely do, because when you have been out the door since 7:30 and you get back at 5:15 and you see your kids and your kids go to bed for 7:30, I mean, you want to spend time with them, and I don't want to spend the entire time cooking and getting, you know, dinner ready and doing dishes and all that kind of stuff. I want to spend time with my family. So we have opted for easy dinners lately. And what I have found the easiest thing to do is make the dinner the night before. So, for example, I start this on a Sunday. We tend to have a Sunday roast, which I'll kind of cook throughout the afternoon on a Sunday. Now, obviously, we're all home on the Sunday, but I'll take that time then to maybe take 4 chicken breasts and put them in a Ziploc bag, put the sauce on them, and then put them in my top fridge so that they are ready just to go on the grill. And then we make things easy, like we have microwave rice, you know? You don't need to boil the rice. Microwave it. It's easier. Or we have a huge sack of potatoes. We microwave the potatoes. Do whatever you can to make life easy and to be able to spend that family time together, because at the end of the day, you're tired, your kids are tired, and they're long days, so you want to be able to eat. And I have learned now that it's not all about the food, it's about who's eating the food. So just try and make life easier as possible. You guys, I know this was a very rambly video. I hope I made some sense. I hope you got some points out of it. In all honesty, just getting everybody to muck in and to accept help, which has been one of the hardest things for me to do, makes life easier. So I hope for those of you mamas or dadas who are going back to work, this was helpful, or if you're thinking about going back to work, or if you're just working from home and doing things, you know, that you need a little bit of help with, that this video helped out a bit. So as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you doing so. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button, and I promise to get more videos to you sooner rather than later. Take care. Bye, everyone.